Good morning, evening, and afternoon. Welcome to part 5 of Aokana, no Kanata no fō rizumu. Firstly, I just want to apologize for the inconsistent uploads. Reasons just being a bit busy again. And unfortunately, I won't be able to do uploads for the rest of the week, unfortunately. So this will be the last one for this week. Pretty rare for me. I don't like to do it, but I just can't, unfortunately. But yeah, I'll be back next week. So last time on Aokana, so we had the introduction to the anti-graviton shoes, or anti-graviton itself, the sports that is related to it, which is called Flying Circus. Quite an interesting name. Not something I would have put two and two together. Flying, of course, is sure. Circus, I'm not too sure. So yeah, we had originally started the last time with flying with Asuka, seeing her improvements as she flies. Landed on the beach, had a little discussion, talk among one-on-one, and then we had a situation that Asuka started to join in on. So the situation was two individuals on the beach, seemed like they were arguing, but they really just had a competition. One won and one lost. The competition was between SunaeVN, a girl with blonde hair and twin tails, who acts a bit haughty, I guess you could say. I don't know if that's the right word, but who she thinks of herself as above others in a sense. But she is, from what we can tell, quite a good-natured person. The second individual who had lost was a guy called Shion. He is part of Masaya and Asuka's school. Seemed like a senpai, a third year, I think. So yeah, we'll probably see obviously more of him as we see here. So we were introduced to the sport of flying circus with these two, and to try and help Shion, Asuka decided to face SunaeVN in Flying Circus, and it was a good introduction to the sport. The outcome was nearly predictable, but it was still pretty good. We were able to see a few interesting things, like how Asuka, sure, she's a bit slow and a bit new, but she does have potential, I should say. And it showed the little different nooks and crannies of the sports. How what was it called? I think it was quite a while ago. Yeah. Whoops. So we knew that the way they were doing this event was in the air, in like a horizontal plane. Like the one boy and the other boy were in the same plane height, I guess you could say. But you would think then that the fighting between each other, between the individuals, happens on that same plane. But Asuka showed that you can go above and below. Obviously that's, I think, from the help of Masaya and his directions. But it shows that there can be a lot introduced to the sports. There's a lot of potential, there's a lot of things to learn. It's not a simple sport. And it'll be interesting to see later on how much the sport evolves. both with the characters and the sports itself, and competitions, or like what can we expect in the future? That's what I like to see. As for the characters, SunaeVN and Shion, they quite enjoyable, likable characters. I heard that there isn't obviously a SunaeVN route, because we know the main routes are the 4 main heroines, Asuka, Mashiro, Misaki, and Rika. I think I got one of the 2 names wrong. I apologize. Yeah, it was quite interesting. I can't wait to learn more about these characters and see where they go from here. Especially with Shion as well, this guy. As soon as I saw that there was a portrait, or I guess like a 2D sprites, or we knew Shion was a character, I guess you could say. I felt that he would be like a friend to Masaya, like a person that we could talk to and just see more of, which I'm hoping for, and I can't wait to see more of. But yeah, but long introduction. Last one was pretty interesting. So, also it was nice. Last thing to mention before we carry on, was the pacing was pretty good. Yeah, I can't really say much in terms of the pacing. It wasn't fast and it wasn't too slow. So it was a good change from what previous episodes were. We'll probably go back to the previous pacing, but I'm not too sure. We'll have to wait and see. And then, what was I going to say now? That pacing one just threw me off now. Right, the translations. It was a lot better. There were a few pieces here and there that I was still irritated by, but it's just a personal thing. But anyway, it was much better. So, looking forward to see what's going to go next. So, let's see what's going to happen. So, this is after SunaeVN, I think, leaves, and Shion came to us. Damn, you startled me. The identity of that shadow is...
Arigato! Arigato! Arigato!
Shion-san, who has been moved to tears by Kurashina-san.
俺は感動した。あんなに見事なエアキックターン、試合でも練習でもそうそうお目にかかれないぞ。
そうなんですか?
Kurashina-san replies, somewhat bewildered. However, Shion-san just nods repeatedly in response.
君は飛ぶのは本当に素人だと言っていたね。はい、
日向さんから教えてもらってる途中で、まだまだ全然上手くないんです。
それであの技を繰り出したとは、それはすなわち。
He's probably gonna say genius. Shion-san bends backward, then shoots his face forward and screams.
天才だ!
Yeah. Tensai, as shown, yeah, can mean prodigy, but I would probably rather use genius. I guess even genius isn't really the right word. I don't know. Yeah, it's. I wouldn't mind.
まさに生まれ持った才能、勘の良さと身体能力、これを生かさないでどうする？君はぜひフライングサーカスをやるべきだ。あとそれと。
Interesting. I was wondering what was this term Skywalker, but just hearing him talk just explained it to me easily. But obviously people who don't know Japanese wouldn't understand it, but I'll try and go over this quickly.
君はぜひフライングサーカスをやるべきだ。あとそれと。
Flying Circus no Yarebeki to, I think you said. Might be a bit mistaken there, but it's something about entering or doing Flying Circus, like participate in Flying Circus, the sport. So to me, then, just reading the English here, just means Skywalker. All that means is A skywalker is a person who participates or does the sport of flying circus. So in other words, a sportsman or sportswoman in a sense. Interesting.
Kimi!
Well, obviously, as I mentioned, yeah, it's not really saying what as much as it said, but... Oh, me? Ah, great. He's directing his passionate gaze at me now.
君の立てた作戦、そして適切なアドバイス。あれは経験者じゃないとできないと見た。
Here he only says about an experienced, someone who is experienced. He doesn't say anything about the flying circus here though, but obviously they can insinuate from what he means. Yeah.
その素晴らしき頭脳と経験、ぜひ共に戦いたいと俺は思っている。
So are we going down the route of actually not being the participants, but more the obviously, like he says, the brain of the group in a sense, the one who comes up with the strategies? That sounds dumb. I actually want to see this in Japanese. Soshite. Okay. All he says here in Japanese is soshite, which is like, and then after that, or and then, or after that, or it's like it's carrying on a saying, something soshite, and then something else he's going to say afterwards. But the English is a bit weird. I don't know why they say that. Sounds dumb. However, Shion-san follows up his proposal with words that become the start of our long journey. So, Shion-san wa subete no kikkake to nara iyu o katachi ni. So I can follow I can understand this now with the Japanese, like soshite, and because and after. And then, or something like that, Shion-san had said everything that had led us to that journey, I guess you could say. So the English was really weird. I don't know why they said that in the English one. Soshite could also possibly be connected with the however here, but still, the previous line really doesn't make any sense.
ぜひ、船浜学院フライングサーカス部に
Okay, so they have a club for it. Interesting. So rather than like a team, it's more of a club. I mean, obviously, the way you interpret a club can mean different things. The reason why I thought of it not being a team but more of a club is there are certain schools in Japan that they view clubs being more of hobbies in a sense, more like something that people do for fun or for, it can be for tournaments and things like that, but it's not really the main so I've got the word buka in Japanese, but for some reason I can't remember the name in English. But club, I guess, would be right as well. But yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm getting myself confused here. What a pain. I'm just thinking he's going to say mendokusai. Nakoto ni chatta na. This is like he's just going into something troublesome now. But yeah, I guess what a pain can be the right thing to say. Sorry if I'm moving back and forth, but I just like seeing the Japanese back and forth between the English and Japanese. It helps me just knowing it, but also it helps me understand the story a little more. Because as I mentioned, the English can be a bit troublesome sometimes. As Masaya is saying, yeah. After that, yeah, I would have thought soshite. Yeah, soshite. Kono yoru. Yoru? I don't even know. That's not yoru. That is. Oh, I'm sorry, my kanji is my bad. But yeah, see, that's when I would have thought the soshite would be. But anyway. Kudoshina-san and I are forced to listen to Shion-san's rambling. Seems to be like a long ramble then. The sun had already set, and darkness ruled over the summer night. I'm standing there on the beach, watching the waves silently come and go. Shion-san's passionate words and the lingering trauma within my heart clash, leaving me lost in thought. Interesting. Ah, okay. Dream again. My vision was filled with blue and white. Bright light streamed across my face and back as I was buffeted by the wind. I was counting down inside my head. If I kept flying at that pace, I'd reach my destination in 3 seconds. I'd gone through the emotions countless times already, so the right timing had practically been engraved into my body. 3, 2, 1. Now. I hunched forward and curled my knees inward. Then, I used my body like a spring to kick off the air with my legs. I was wondering about why they used a voice actress for Masaya's child form, but it makes sense when you think about it, because if they didn't, you wouldn't know when is this taking place. Is he thinking just a few years ago? Is he thinking about this more than 10 years ago? Is this like a few weeks ago? We don't know. But just with the voice added, you know that this is probably more than... Well, he's probably about 17 now, so... 6 years ago maybe? It's hard to say. I did it! I was riding the wind as I leaped forward. The wind that had been crashing into me previously had become my ally. I started counting again. I had a tailwind now, so 2/3 of the previous figure was enough. And so I went over the final 3, 2, 1 countdown. I stopped my body instantly, as if I had reached a spot marked on a map. Though there was no actual map to speak of, still, I knew I wasn't even a millimeter off. After taking a deep breath, I looked up to find the person I was looking for a short distance away. I flew over to her and looked up at her face. So just while I was telling about her clothes, it looks like the same uniform that Asuka was wearing, I think. I think I recognize the part of the sailor uniform like that. So this is possibly when she was 16, 17, 18, probably 17 as well. So she's probably about, as I mentioned, probably about 6, 7 years older than them. So he also knows about the air kick turn ability then, knows how to do it. She flashed a happy smile in response to my question. I jumped for joy upon hearing Aoi-san's words, and Aoi-san simply watched me with a smile. It was a smile that never left her face. Was he sleeping in class or something? No. I mean, it's fine, but there was really an abrupt change there. The next morning, our classroom is wrapped in an unusual atmosphere. There would be fine using FC Club, because he said FC Club, but as I mentioned before, it's not major, it's just a little thing, but anyway. All thanks to Shion-san, of course. I don't know how he found us, but he's here trying to recruit us first thing in the morning. Yeah, it's something similar that Aoi-san was wearing. I recognize the cross on the thing.
部員は俺一人しかいないが大丈夫。君と日向がいれば3人になる。
That makes me really do think of it as a club rather than a sports team, I guess you could call it, because he's the only member. I'm actually surprised that something as big as anti-gravity on shoes is, and how big Flying Circus seems to be, that they don't have teams in the school, and there isn't like I don't want to use the word sports festival, but like sports school tournaments. The word I'm thinking of is a taikai. Gakyu. No, I don't know if that's the right word, but it's just a normal taikai is the word in Japanese I'm thinking of.
日向さんもですか?
Again, I just want to say that I'm actually still pretty surprised that he's the only member in a club about Flying Circus with an island that is quite heavily focused on Flying Circus, or not Flying Circus, but the shoes itself. And even the school itself also seems to be pretty good in it, so...
そうだ。日向も入ってくれれば君たちは最強になるはずだ。
He's been like this since yesterday. I need to put a stop on this before it's too late. Shion-san, class is about to start. Also, it really seems like you're bothering Kurashina-san. I try to cut in on their conversation, but he just ignores me. Isn't there someone else who can stop him? Misaki or the class president, maybe? Yep. Perfect timing, class rep. You see, this guy's... the way she said it, senpai? It's almost like she knows him. Aoyagi looks at Shion-san and... Ah. No, it's not senpai as in... Okay, now I see what it is. It's like, I think we said senpai here in the Japanese show. You see, senpai is something, who, senpai? Which senpai type of thing? That type of thing she was saying. Then she looks at him, and then she recognizes him as her brother. Okay.
Oh, Madoka じゃないか.
Our line of defense has broken. Your siblings?
そうだよ。青柳シオン、うちの兄ちゃん。
Yeah, you should know your class representative's surname. What an unexpected turn of events. I was under the impression Shion was his last name. Turns out it's his first. Oh, sorry, I was thinking... The problem is... it's hard to know... Okay, yeah, I'm using this as an excuse, but... it's depending on who does translations, things like that, or... Things like... I didn't properly listen to it, that's also why I didn't pay attention. Sometimes they, I've seen the way they normally do it in Japanese is they have the surname first and their first name second. Like... Hinata, it's Masaya Hinata, because Hinata is his first name, and what? Now I'm getting myself confused. Alright, they don't have it here. Okay. Anyway, as I was saying, I think Masaya is actually his first name, because, yeah, it is, yeah, sorry, I'm a mistake. So they normally go with Hinata Masaya, is his name said in Japanese. But sometimes with the translations, they have it the normal Western way. They have the first name and then the surname. So when I saw this, I thought she was saying her name in a sense. And obviously her name is Madoka, and I didn't pay attention to this line whatsoever. So I thought that he should have known her name because it's past present, so she should know that they were siblings in a sense. Because I thought Shion was his surname, so I thought Shion is also her surname. I'm confusing myself as well as confusing you. I do apologize, but I just wanted to clarify why I was so confused. So yeah, okay, Shion is his first name, Aoyagi is both their surnames. Okay, and Madoka is her first name. Obviously I should have known that when he said, Madoka. Again, I was just confusing myself. So, yeah, anyway, let's move on. Okay.
とりあえず兄ちゃん、時間だからそろそろ教室に戻って。
そうか。じゃあ、俺はひとまず戻るが、また来るぞ、二人とも。
He walks out of the classroom after making that unsettling announcement.
そうか、名前聞いてなかったけど、兄ちゃんが言ってた超有望な新人ってアスカちゃんとひなたくんだったんだね。
He's already talking about us at home?
うん、久々にテンション上がりまくってた。うわ、先生来たからまた後でね。
Sure.
今日もみんな変わりはないみたいだな。それじゃ、ホームルームを始める。
Ari-san goes to home as usual. Then during our break, here he comes again.
まどかちゃんのお兄さんだったんですね。
Thought he would be here already. Okay. Yeah, that really took me by surprise too.
名前のイメージとギャップあるし、何より私とあんまし似てないもんね。
So yeah, that again.
名前のイメージとギャップあるし、何より私とあんまし似てないもんね。
Here she said about not that the names aren't similar at all, but there's more like the names to the image of the names you would expect that to be. There's a gap. A gap is where? How do I explain a gap? There's a known term called the gap moe. That's how I view that word gap. It's where you think of something and you see what it's connected to, and there's a vast difference. An example would be, it's a weird way of giving an example, but like let's say a cute young girl singing metal music, heavy metal. There's a big gap in that image, I guess you could say. So in terms of the names and who they represent, Shion, as I had mentioned before, I think last time, was Shion. I wouldn't really put as a male's name, especially with a guy that looks like that as well. So that is understandable there. Madoka seems fine. I wouldn't have anything wrong with seeing the name Madoka and her. So. Unsurprisingly, the hot topic right now is Aoyagi's older brother.
誰か来てたの？朝？夜？
I guess the first break, she's still not up yet. Just go back to sleep. It's not even lunch break yet.
はーい。
I make the low blood pressure Snoop re-enter the land of slumber. It's better that she doesn't get involved. She'd only complicate things. Yeah. From what we know of her so far, yep, definitely.
でも、どうしてあんなに一生懸命になって勧誘してたんでしょうか?
Yeah. Again, I'm quite confused because, as mentioned multiple times, you would think that he'd have a lot of people he could try and recruit. I wonder why he's trying to recruit people.
それはね、うちのフライングサーカス部部員が少なすぎて同好会になっちゃったから。
Okay, that's the proper terms I was actually looking for. I get them mixed up. A club is more like your sports clubs and things like that. Circles are more the hobby, fun event type of groups rather than clubs. So interesting. I wonder why. Oh, because obviously not enough members. I didn't finish reading, but that is surprising. Oh, I didn't know. I remember hearing about how clubs and circles work at orientation. You need a certain amount of members to start up a club. If you don't have that, or the member count of an already existing club falls below the requirement, you become a circle. Circles don't get a club room, club advisor, or any funds, so there's not much room to grow if they get stuck with that status.
だからなんとしてでも自分以外の部員を入れてもう一度部にしたいって思ってるみたいだね。そうなんだ。
I feel bad for him. I wonder what the Japanese word for is. Okay. Still, I have my reasons for not joining.
というわけで決めてくれたか、倉科にひなた。
He appears before us again like he promised. 30 seconds after class is end for the day, he arrives in our classroom. That is quick.
先輩たちが辞めてしまい、俺だけになってしまったフライングサーカス部だが、君たちが入ってくれれば最高は十分に可能だ。どうだね？
So, when he was a second year, it was a club. And there was a proper Flying Circus club. But once he went to his third year and the third years had graduated, he became the only member. Which makes me think, why wasn't there any first years? In other words, why wasn't there anybody from Masaya's grade that didn't join? Obviously we know why he didn't, but interesting. He's pushing forward energetically, the guy's vigor incarnate. And we're losing ground in the face of that energy.
そうなんですね。では私もここは一つ真剣に。
Kirishina-san is shooting glances at me as she answers his question. Yeah, she wants to join if he joins. Guess she's wondering what I'm going to do. I should give him my answer first. I take a deep breath before speaking up. Senpai?
なんだひなた、質問ならいつでも受け付け。
Sorry to say, but I'm not joining your club.
え？
Again, sorry about that. I'll be on my way now.
いや、ひなた？
ひなたさん。
What?
本当に入らないんですか？フライングサーカス部。
The way I said what there was a bit off. Sorry, I just don't feel like it.
でも、ひなたさんはフライングサーカスにすごく詳しいみたいでしたし、飛ぶのも上手だし、佐藤院さんとの試合の時だって。
Kurashina-san tries to reason with me. Sorry. But I simply cut her off and walk away.
ひなたさん。
I'm sighing as well, in a sense as well, because I don't know. I guess I'm just not used to this types of transitions, I guess you could say. It's like it was from one scene to his house as well. I don't know why I find that weird. I don't know. Anyway. Later that day, I'm in my bed. I couldn't even work up an appetite, and after a light dinner, I'm just rolling around lazily. The only thought on my mind is what happened earlier today. Went on my way to choose a school that didn't have an FC club. Interesting, so he knew that they well, from the sounds of it, they did have a club, but it wasn't a big club anyway. So yeah. Interesting. After mulling over my thoughts for a while, I shoot up out of bed. Oh man, things get real dirty if you don't take care of them. Greeted by a pile of clutter upon opening a drawer on my shelf. Drawer on the shelf? The only thing I think of is this here. It's the only shelf that has drawers. These don't have drawers, that's a box. That doesn't look like a drawer. No, it looks like it's just a stand for that. I don't know. No, that's that are different things, I think. Those are just no. Yeah, this is more like a thing there. Okay. It's a baseball that I've only used a single time. Also, I can see an outdated handheld gaming device. Why do I still have this stuff? I just want to make sure I have the right place. I just wanted to make sure I didn't read desk instead of shelf, so. Convinced there's some mechanism at work that gathers all the junk you just don't care about. You don't care about into one place. Not sure whether to call myself a pack rat or a sloth. I dig through a pile and finally find what I'm looking for. A medal? There it is. Then I pull out a box that I haven't opened in a very long time. After that, I place it on the table. I guess it's been collecting a lot of dust. Dust off the box a little before opening it. Inside, I find a pure white body with green lines. This was an extremely popular model in the past, so it's these integrated on shoes then. So it isn't this that what he was talking about. The only thing I think of is this here. Unless there's something behind us that we can't see. I see that there are two things engraved onto them. Aoi-san's autograph and an important pledge. Autograph? Does that mean she was pretty big in when she was a few years ago? How many years has it been? My flying circus shoes. Performance of grav shoes has gone up since I last competed, making these shoes obsolete. Plus, they're way too small for me now. No, the real reason I can't wear these again is different. Simply staring at them has me feeling depressed. Never thought things would turn out like this. I let out a deep sigh before placing the shoes back in the box. If Senpai shows up again tomorrow, I'll turn him down flat. I'm positive that I'll make him give up. However, Skashi? Tokoro ga. Yeah, okay. However, it's fine. I soon came to learn that there was something just as strong, or perhaps even stronger, than my resolve. Namely, Senpai's tenacity. Next day, Friday. That was an interesting transition there. Oh boy, here he goes again. Like I said yesterday, I will never change my mind. And now here I go again. He closes his eyes and lets out a loud groan, but that still isn't enough to deter him. You're finally giving up? Now I think he's going to come up with a deal or try and say that wakata is almost like, fine, how about 3,000 yen then? No, how about 2,500? It's like he's trying to bargain in a sense. Huh?
俺の情熱を試しているということだな。確かにそうだ。一度や二度ぐらいで揺らぐと思っていた俺が甘かったんだ。
Aogi Senpai nods fiercely.
わかった。君のその挑戦受けて立とうじゃないか。この青柳シオン、 3個でも9個でも礼を尽くそう。
Listen, Senpai, you've got this all wrong. I never said anything of this.
ではまた来週も来るぞ。俺の情熱受け止めてくれ。
Yeah, that did not work. Senpai storms out of the classroom without listening to me at all. Thanks for listening. And then, from that day on, he started taking extreme measures. Monday. Oh, we just went right past the weekend.
入部してくれないか。
No. Oh wow, just going straight through it.
この通りだ。土下座でも何でもする。
What's worrying me in a sense is we're going straight past the days when we could see Asuka how she does in terms of her learning of the issues. There's no, it's like but at this pace she's just going to be able to fly in a sense, and we won't see that transition properly. Hey, don't start doing that now. There are people watching. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
なんなら君は部長でもいいから。俺は甘んじて平部員になろうじゃないか。
I've never even asked for that. Look, just stop flying after me, alright? Even on Saturday.
一体何が望みなんだ。金か、それとも地位か。
Well, even comes on Saturday. The only thing I want is for you to leave me alone. And don't you dare come to my house on the weekend. This guy's nuts. And so, after a week of him more than living up to his as many times as it takes promise, I find myself completely exhausted.
ほーらマシロ、私のことが好きだったら頑張って捕まえてごらんなさい。美咲先輩は大好きなのに、私が飛ぶの下手なせいで捕まえられないこの切ない状況。
What I find interesting is the sprites that they use for the flying. If you actually just rotate it by 90 degrees, it almost looks like she would just be standing. The reason why I noticed that was because the angle of her feet. I don't know, I think if they were to slightly angle it differently, but obviously then you can't see the body properly, so I can understand why they did that, but it feels weird. It's next Monday. After somehow shaking off Aoyagi Senpai's assaults, I started Kurashina-san's flying lesson. This has become part of my daily routine by this point. That's better, in my opinion. You can see the feet are positioned a lot more naturally in the form of when they're flying. Whereas Amashiro's was... Maybe she was just turned on her side, she was on her side rather than flying flat, I don't know. Kurashina-san has been getting better at this entire time. Yeah, it was unfortunate we didn't see that transition from the Monday to Friday. But she's still nowhere near good enough to pull off the technique she used during that match with Satoin-san. Hell, I'd hesitate to even call her flight stable at this point. I'd love to see that again. I hardly shake my head as those words leave my mouth. What the hell am I saying? I've been thinking about Flying Circus a lot more often lately because of Senpai. Still haven't changed my mind though. I'll never join his club. It's just hard not to think of Flying Circus when I'm flying around so much. Yeah, that's all.
戻ってきました。
Kurashina-san was tottering a little at the end, but she managed to safely return to me. You did good out there. Seems you've finally gotten used to changing directions midair. Guess that means it's about time to wrap up your lessons for good.
はい。
In a sense, I can understand why he's going about like this. He wants to get try to separate himself from Asuka so that he can minimize the amount of time he spends in that environment, I guess you could say. I don't know if I'm getting that right, but yeah. But obviously she's not too happy about it. She wants to learn more from him. You should have no trouble getting around. Wish she'd work on her form though. There's one person we know who can improve that form. Well, she'll slowly get there as she commits to school. I've got no reason to worry. Hey, Misaki.
何？
We're done with today's practice.
あー、いい。ちょっと待って。
I didn't look at her form. I think it was pretty good. I shout out to my classmate who's just goofing around and relax my mind. It's time I report back to Ari-san. These lessons are finally coming to an end.
ひなたさん？
Yeah? Kurashina-san addresses me right as I'm about to inform her of my decision.
やっぱり入部する気はないんですか？
Yeah, nothing's changing. Nothing's changed.
本当に？
Kurashina-san keeps pressing the matter. You heard me talking to Aoyagi-senpai earlier, right?
聞いていましたけど、それでも本心は別なのかもなとか。
I am. I'm telling you, I don't want to join. Oh, whoa! Kurashina-san suddenly closes her face in on mine before speaking.
本当に入部する気はないんですか？
Does this mean that in the Japanese version it's more like, do you really mean that you're not going to be joining the club? Like I said, nothing's changed. I nearly got overwhelmed by her eager spirit, but still managed to keep my composure. Kurashina-san, however, keeps staring at me up close, and eventually...
わかりました。
She quietly mutters those two words before pulling back. She might not join the club. Good. Is this just your kata? Okay. She seems a bit down, but I'm sure I'm just imagining it. Maybe I was a bit rude, though. Guess I should apologize tomorrow. Unfortunately, right now, I have no way of knowing the true meaning of her actions. Wait, what? Maybe I'll find out the truth tomorrow. Weird way of putting things.
入ります。フライングサーカス部。
Okay, so she's joining us. I thought she wouldn't because... So, the way I thought... firstly, I'm going to end it here for that. And for the week, unfortunately. So, the way I thought she was going to go about the way the events were going to transpire was... He definitely did not want to join the club. That was obviously evident. Then she obviously seemed to be wanting to be taught more by him, and I was having fun with him. Saw that okay, he doesn't want to join it, so I guess I won't as well. Is what I thought was gonna go. Then I thought Masaya would notice that she's wasting what she could have enjoyed. She seemed like she really enjoyed Flying Circus. She seems to enjoy flying. So why doesn't she want to join anymore? But then you realize that it's because of him. So then he reluctantly will agree to join, which will then allow her to join. I just had it. I think I was just thinking about it more in my head. It was a lot better, but yeah. Okay, so she's gonna join. Okay. Not what I expected. Well, I obviously expected to join, but not just straight up like that. But then I don't understand. The true meaning of her actions. Yeah, I just find it sound a little weird. Maybe I don't think I'll be able to read this though. Sorry, just 1 second. Okay. So yeah, interesting episode. Got to see more of Shion, get to know that they're siblings with Madoka. Not too much has happened in this episode. It was more stories about telling the story. Let's see. Yeah, not much to really say. We obviously know Masaya's part in this story, why he doesn't want to, all the events, all sorts of things. And we know Shion obviously wants people to join his club. And we know Asuka also seems to take interest in it. Yeah. Didn't see Rika today's episode. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was nothing too new-ish. I feel like we learned something new, but I forgot it already. I guess it was just the knowledge about the Flying Circus Club, or Circle in this case. It's quite interesting to know that. Still a bit confused on why a school like this school was struggling with members Flying Circus. But yeah, I do want to finish off saying as well is that I can actually understand in a bit of, not obviously a similar situation, but I can understand a bit of Masaya's circumstances and on his feelings of Flying Circus in a sense. I was kind of on the opposite side in this case. I used to do esports for a game, and I was part of a team that did extremely well in the region. Too well, in fact, because there was a lot of discourse among the community in regards to my team, in a sense, destroying the other teams too much, and it was putting a lot of negative impact on the community. And I can imagine that my situation and Masaya's situation, because in a sense we're destroying people's feelings for the sport. We're hurting the want to participate in it. Like, if you are beaten so badly, you almost feel like there's no point. I won't be able to beat them. There's nothing I can do. So might as well just stop. So I can understand that type of situation. But yeah. So I can completely understand his point of view in a sense. So yeah. Anyway, that'll be it for this week. Unfortunately, it's only one this week. I'm a bit unhappy about that, but nothing I can do about it. I will try to get my re-uploads for Cafestella up. Not sure, I can't promise anything regards to that, but I'll see what I can do. But for now, that'll be it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please let me know your thoughts. I'll see you all next time.